Have you been having a rough day? If you've been playing other assassins, you've been barking up the wrong tree. Who needs to learn mechanics when you could just play Naafiri? Riot said so themselves. They wanted to create a low skill tap assassin so anyone would be able to pick up this champion and be able to dominate the enemies at a click of a few buttons. Still not as simple as playing someone like Garen, but a lot easier than playing someone like Zed. The enemy thinks they're gonna outplay you with their mechanics, but we don't need those. We'll just hit them with our quick combos. Call me Dracula's dog, because we're a bloodhound, and they ain't getting away from this point and click fuck you button. And if they think they're clever and they're gonna go over a wall after you get on top of them, well, they're in for a rough awakening, because they're just gonna jump over that wall with you. Alright, well, I did take a look at these abilities in another video, but let's take a more in-depth look now that we know what these abilities actually do. Her passive is even more doggos. Naafiri's not a rabbit, but she sure does multiply like one. After a few seconds, a new doggo is born into this world with a max of 2, then at level 9 you get another fur baby. We shall name them George and Jorge. Now George and Jorge love to attack things that you attack, and then when you hit things with your abilities, they'll also attack them. They are a huge source of your damage, but they can also die. But just like Lord Farquaad, we don't care, because they block that Zerathi from hitting the real mastermind.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Now, I'm not sure what the third dog should be named. Well, let me know in the comments below. Our Q is Knife Dog. You throw knives at the enemy, and doggone it, it's our most important ability. When you shank the enemy, they're gonna bleed. Damn it, Jorge, not again. Alright, fine, we'll just hit him again, but that does stop the bleeding for some reason, but they do take the remainder of the bleed damage as additional damage, just to make things right. And also, we're a vampire dog, so we heal off the bleed and damage. Even if you miss your first cast, the second one will cause the bleed anyway, so don't really worry about it. Her W is the point and click fuck you button. You want to dash away? Nope. Flash away? Nope. Go over the wall? Nope. Play the game of League of Legends? Not on my watch. We're an expert tracker, and we'll follow you to the ends of Runeterra to make sure that I have fun and you don't. As long as there's not another champion in the way. Her E is Spinning Knife Sonic Dog Dash, and that's the real name. Naafiri will dash in a direction in a spinning ball of knives and then hit anyone in a line and at the destination to deal more shank damage. This does deal the most damage at the landing point, but if you dash through an enemy and hit them at the landing point, then you're going to be dealing a ton of damage. Unlike other abilities like this where you can change the landing point, this will always go the full length of the dash, so if you're doing something wrong, you might not deal the full extent of the damage that you could. Last up is her ultimate, even more doggos. We're just a lonely Great Wolf Sith with Soul Edge, and since we've been alone for hundreds of years, we gotta fill that void with more pets than we can handle. Like a crazy cat lady, except with dogs. A crazy dog lady. George and Jorge, name these dogs. We don't got time right now. We just got more AD, more HP, and an even more bunny-like reproduction time, so we gotta go! Just use your abilities for even more dash and doggos, and once you get a kill, it will refresh your abilities, but only once. Other than that, it really doesn't change anything except the number of dogs that the enemy has to navigate to try and get their point-and-click CC off. Alright, there's 2 ways that we can rune up this doggo, and even though we're Lord Farquaad, we don't use those Shrek runes. We're a knife dog, and sometimes he takes bullets, but other times we just want to shock the enemy with our positively awesome puns. But really, for either one of those builds, you're going to end up looking something like this. Now it's time to take a look at that gameplay. Alright, we're in the game, and it would be blasphemy not to take another knife to start off with this knife doggo, so we're going to take one of these and some mixed strings. Now, this is the most important thing that I'm going to tell you in this entire video. To pet the dog, first you hit the joke twice to get the dog head pats. Once the head pats are done, use the taunt to get the neck scritches. Then, once that's done, hit the laugh to get the belly rubs. Don't forget this is key to victory. Do not forget. Like, comment, and subscribe. And by the way, we're going mid. That seems to be the best place for her right now. Don't believe those other people that say she's broken another position. The stats don't lie, and don't let me catch you taking her into that jungle. I see you there, Michael Vick. Dog fights are not allowed. We are in the mid lane and we're still a melee champion, so try and play safe because we can't really get effective trades against ranged laners because they keep hounding us from afar. And that's also why I'm not the biggest fan of taking bullets over puns. But I feel like she does excel in melee matchups because even after the trade's done, your buddies keep swelling up on the enemy. Just keep the lights on to avoid some pesky dog kickers. Most of the time we just farm by throwing our knives, stay safe, and roam when we can because we are an assassin. Even if you're behind, once you hit level 6, that's when you're really gonna shine. If you do find an opportunity to poke, just remember to hit those knives. It's kind of important because it's a majority of your damage, as this is what we're going to be leveling up first. Now, when we are in lane and outside of lane, there are a couple of combos that we want to keep in mind. Most of these combos are the best when we're with George, Jorge, and friends, so we'll just assume that you have your ult active. So this is the most simple one. W to engage, Q to bleed, E to double dog dash, then Q again to finish them off. Also, feel free to throw in any auto attacks in there that you feel like. If you are in closer range to them, Q to start off your bleed, W to say fuck you, E to double dog dash, then Q to finish them off again. This might not kill every time, but it's the best trade in lane. Just don't use your W if you know the enemy can take you to the safety of their fire hydrant, because then you're gonna have a bad time. But once you do get a couple kills under your belt or farm money off those hooded beggars, it's time to get more knives and a cloak and another knife and a spear and an axe. And whatever you describe this as, a shield? I don't know, works for me. Now, we've been dealing with this fire hydrant for too long. It's time to vandalize and pee all over it. Get it out of here. We're a territorial dog, and I'm tired about this enemy flaunting their giant fire hydrant over us. But we're not no boy dogs, so we're not going to Krauser towers, but we do destroy them. From there, just rinse and repeat those realms, and we'll get enough kills to assert our dominance. We want to lurk in the shadows, ready to pounce on any unsuspecting enemies that happen to come our way. Isolated picks are always a nice thing for an assassin, but we want to make sure to be with our best friend forever when objectives are up. During fights, we do want to try and flank so our W doesn't get blocked. Then we just find the most threatening and squishy enemies and hit that fuck you button. And once they're dead, we're going to be invulnerable, and we'll get a reset, so we're going to go to the next squishiest person and kill them too. Just make sure to stay away from the bouncers of the salty splatoon. Then after that, we just want to be a nuisance to the enemy team. Then bing bang boom, we did it! We won the game. And if you like this video, make sure to check out the best hooker in League of Legends. Talk to you later!